everyone, I'm Becky.
I'm Sarah.
And we're doing Bickering book reviews. Today we are talking about Sisters of Shadow and Light by Sara B. Larson, which I got from Edelweiss.
Same. So the thing is, she's been posting about this on Facebook, and so she listed as the acronym, so the SOSL.
Yeah.
And so I just think of it in an acronym form, so I forget what the title actually is. But her posts are super cute. Like, and she had her sisters like help introduce it when it first came out. It was adorable.
Oh.
Like, it's super cute.
I've just seen her because she's commented on. She's like been posting on Goodreads. Is where I saw it. So this book is about two sisters. One named Sara and the other named Inara. And their father was a paladin, and they live which was like kind of like almost like a magical warrior from a different dimension.
See, the word paladin kind of triggers my D&D background, which is not very big at all. And I'm like, they're magic users, right?
See, I think like it kind of sounds Star Warsy. But so Sara and Inara. Their mother was like from a non-magic person from this realm, but
she's a human.
But it's not really from this realm. It's kind of like because it's fantasy. And then their father was a paladin. They had fallen in love.
He's a paladin from a different world.
And basically the paladins kind of lost favor in this world, and so people tried to kill them. So they went and hid in this big citadel where they could be protected. And then the night that Inara was born, their father left. And now it's 16 years later, and Inara has all this power flowing through her, and she isn't really able to use it, and they're like locked in this citadel by this huge hedge, and they can't get out. And
it's like a sentient hedge.
It is.
Like, it lets some people out.
Like The Shining or Harry Potter.
It lets some people out, but it lets some people in, but it doesn't, like one person, but it doesn't let anybody else out or in.
But it's like protecting them.
Though it doesn't feel like that sometimes. And
then this like scholar wanders through the hedge and is able to get through the hedge, and they're trying to figure out what that is.
Right.
And I don't know how much more to give, like how much more to say, but something happens, and like
I think that's
the paladins
good, right?
kind of come back into play, and like the sisters basically have to figure out where they are, where they fit into these two worlds, where they fit into between these two families, and what the powers do.
I mean, because essentially they're just exploring Inara's powers. Like, that's part of it too. It's part of it because as they're growing up, when Inara does certain things, she kind of gains a little bit more clarity.
Well, because so her powers are kind of like overwhelming her, and like basically she says she hears this roaring in her head, and so she basically can't function. But when she uses the powers, it drains the roaring, and then she's like lucid. And so they have these lucid moments, just sometimes for like a couple minutes, sometimes for like an hour or so. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's during those like lucid moments that like she's learning, how to read, how to talk, and it's very interesting. Yeah. Like, so like when you like really sit and think about it, you're like, I don't know if that's possible with the amount of time that you're saying that she was lucid, but then you're also like, that's kind of interesting though, that like she has this very kind of different view of the world.
But also with brain development, just being around stuff, she would learn to understand the words. She just might not be able to learn to say the words. And they make a comment when Halvar comes. He says, "Well, she has a different accent than you," and they're like, "She has a different accent because she learned language differently." So this is a very well written book. I like the way that Sara B. Larson actually like writes her stories and does like the words on the page. I liked her last series a lot, particularly the last series, and I can't remember. It started with Defy. Incredibly strong female lead. Love it.
I know, I love that. And
the covers are gorgeous.
It's easy to sell, like that is easy to hand sell to kids too. Yeah. Like they're like, sign me up. And this one I think is that one's true for this. That is true for this too. I think she moves things, and I'm gonna read the next book in this series.
I will probably read the next book in this series just where this one ended, but I gotta say it never fully grabbed me. Once I sat and started reading it, first of all, I think if I had listened to the audiobook, it probably would have grabbed me, but I had to sit and like kind of make myself start reading, and then I would get into it. But it was almost like I had to do it.
There were certain pieces and parts that like slowed it down for me, I think, and I wish if they just weren't there, then they kind of happened off the page, like, because that mother though, like, Oh.
But I could see where the mother was coming from.
I mean, yeah, but oh, and then to like keep going back to that, I'm just like, oh, this is so uncomfortable. And then there's another part that I don't really want to talk about because I don't want to give anything away, but there's another character that comes into play that I was like, I just wish that didn't have to happen. But then there's a love interest that kind of comes in, a couple love interests that come in, and I enjoyed those, actually.
I liked the one love interest. The other one, I feel like it was kind of obvious, the manipulations. But I don't want to give that away.
We need to talk about this.
Yes.
Because I'm like, who? Huh.
Yeah. I also, like, as you pointed out, I don't know how people are going to respond to, because, like, when Inara is, I don't even know how to phrase it, like, incapacitated a little bit by her power.
Yeah, I mean, when she's full power and you can see it through her eyeballs.
But, like, her actions could kind of come across almost as a depiction of mental illness, and then it's taken away.
See, and I thought it felt like a depiction of autism. I thought that she was going to be a main character with autism.
I actually kind of did too, and I was kind of excited by that idea, but then they cleared up. So, I don't know. I don't know how people who...
But then for her to function, she has to kind of lose that...
Right.
Part of herself.
And like I said, I could just kind of almost see, like... See, I thought the depiction was almost towards, like, schizophrenia. And then, yeah, she gets over it and, like, powers. So, but I think that's...
So maybe it's problematic, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
I'm
not even going to speak on it because I don't even know.
So we should just rate it. Our rating system starts at the top with 5 unicorns, we go down to 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it's a horse.
I think because I read it a long time ago, especially in like my world, and the fact that I can remember it as well as I do, I'm going to give it a 4 because it obviously stuck with me. I still want to read the rest of it. I thought it moved fast, and yeah, that's what I'm sticking with.
I'm going with a 3 because I did like the writing, and I did kind of like the characters, but it never grabbed me. Like, it was like literally, like, I finished it about an hour and a half ago because I was like, I have to get this done. So that is where we are on Sisters of Light and Shadow. We'll see you around.
All right.
Bye.
Isn't it Shadow and Light?
Probably.